and one. Matt, how are you today?
Awesome. How are you doing?
I'm very curious actually today.
I'm super curious as well. It's that time of the week. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the time of the week. So, Matt, last time we were actually giving an introduction to the one-stop shop for curiosity, thinking about
Yeah.
the education-centered curiosity design and curiosity project.
Yeah.
And one of the things that is very important is when you are creating a center for curiosity and you are creating artifacts and you are creating tools. So basically, you are creating technology.
Yeah.
And in the process of creation of technology, it's one thing that actually the scientific community are very used to is the research and development.
Yeah.
So if we want to promote this project, I think the research and development is a very important side of the story
Yeah.
that we need to promote, and we need to think and the different research opportunities that will be available around curiosity. So,
Yeah.
what's your take on that? What do you think about the Research and Development Center for the Curiosity?
Yeah. Well. Thanks again. Thanks for getting curious with me on this because this overall project, the curiosity project, the idea is that it operate with different components. And we discussed last time the education center where the learning happens, but as you mentioned, there's an importance for research and development. Anything, any organization, any institution, if it wants to go forward, it needs to both study the past and create that future. So with this curiosity R&D, or as I like to call it, the knowledge garden, the idea behind it is that it would be a garden of knowledge, but not just any old knowledge, a knowledge that pushes the exploration and discovery of the science behind curiosity, and in doing so connects existing R&D centers in the corporate world and in the academic world and brings them together so that they can share resources, share knowledge, all in the name of curiosity, so that not only can each separately benefit from it, but also everyone else who's affected, the students, the workers, the customers, you name it, all the way down to just the regular curious person. If they want to do something with their curiosity, or if they've got curiosity to pursue this or develop that, well, how do they generate the IP or create the patents for it? Well, Project Curiosity's Knowledge Garden is where you go to extend your curiosity beyond the idea, but into the science of it to get whatever. I keep saying this isn't the endpoint. This research center. It's more of a bridge, not just between the corporate R&D centers and the academic R&D centers, but a bridge between these ideas and the data, the science, knowledge, to turn them into actions.
Yeah, that something ringing the bell in my head because, for example, this week I was in a meeting actually with a very large corporate customer, and one thing that I think is very important in order to change the way we are approaching to issues in companies,
Mm-hmm.
it's that if we want to actually, we really want to promote curiosity, we need to garden ideas. We need to
Yeah.
garden the tools to
Mm-hmm.
make feasible the growing of curiosity at the company. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just that we are saying, hey, we are very curious just because we have crazy ideas. No, that's not curiosity. That's
Yeah.
just, that I will say, transversal thinking or
Mm-hmm.
exponential thinking, that is just taking things from the past and trying to scale with the tools that you have today. And the thing of curiosity is, hey, we need different things. We need to think maybe equal to something, different to something, but it's thinking in terms of the future. But
Yeah.
the curiosity is not is not past center. The
Yeah.
curiosity is future centered. If we are curious about something, we are curious about the future. Uh, maybe
Even if it's something from the past, it's how it applies to the future. Yeah.
yeah, how this thing from the past applies to the future. But when
Yeah.
you get curious, It's a movement. It's not the static process. It's not the static on the
Yeah.
radio frequency area. Um, and I'm saying that because very large companies are very heavy trucks to move. Large companies are like the large trucks on the road that the max speed is very close to the 40, 60 miles maybe. And when you are trying to switch gears, it's really hard.
Yeah.
And the reason it's really hard is because you do not have the right tools. And that's why we need people creating the tools. Of course, I do not have all the answers, but I know that we need different tools.
Yep.
And when we're thinking in this curiosity project on a large scale, we need people who want to get involved in the project and do the research and development. The research just to understand the issue, and the development in the creation of tools. And I
Yep.
think that's well, oh my God, that's an open space that
Mhm.
if we understand that everything that we might able to create, we could be creating intellectual property rights.
Yep.
We could be we might be on space that where we are creating patents around curiosity, because the patents is not just about physical products. We have patents around service models. We have patents around uh, what's the definition? It's utility patent,
Yep.
based on the utility that it has in some specific areas. And I think that's just one just from my end one
Okay.
justification to have this research
Well,
and development center.
well, this might be one that you appreciate. I was having a conversation with someone before on this idea of this knowledge garden, and the reason to study curiosity and to understand it better is we tend to think of curiosity from the creative side or the artistic outcomes, or the creativity that comes from it. But what if we look at curiosity from an engineering perspective? Yeah, what if we look at curiosity as a resource and how engineers approach resources, and like you keep mentioning, tools? Because remember, curiosity is the resource, curiosity based is the tool. Well, you can want what's in the ground, but in order to get it, you have to understand geology. You have to study geology and rocks and the earth, and right. And then if you really want to get it the best way possible, whether you're getting natural gas or minerals or whatever, you got to understand the tools you're going to use to dig and to find those resources. Yeah. Well, who's doing this with curiosity right now? Who's breaking it apart and understanding it? And then to keep going, miners, engineers, as they go on these learning journeys, water their knowledge gardens, they develop patents, they make discoveries, they have things that, hey, wow, this tool can be used this way, or let's create a new tool, right? Because we have a better understanding of the rocks, curiosity, we can design a better tool to access what we want in those rocks, curiosity-based thinking or whatever hasn't been discovered yet, right? And this knowledge garden would be a place that could facilitate that kind of learning, and not just from the individuals. I keep thinking of corporate, individuals, and institutions, are the higher education. They could all kind of work in syncrasy together to share these ideas, to flourish the ideas, and yeah, get those resources.
Yeah, and yeah, you just said something that is very important. Is you need the tools to, I would say, to create or explode the resources. You need the tools to mold materials. You need the tools to write a book.
Yep.
Basically, it's not just that you have the idea. You need, at some level, you always need tools. We need the tools to be able to communicate to each other. We need tools to create the next shuttle to
Yeah.
Pluto, to Jupiter, to Mars. Um, people like entrepreneurs, every single day they are creating tools. Even
Yeah.
sometimes without knowing what might be the specific or the most profitable use of the tool.
Yeah.
And here, yeah, when we think, and I think that's one of the part of the proposal, that people might find interesting or might find very exciting to work in the curiosity gardening, the research and development of tools or even theories around curiosity and writing
Exactly. Yeah.
the papers and writing the books and writing, making the proposals and doing
Yep.
speeches around the world. That's the way. That's the process of discovery.
Yeah.
And the process of discovery will always need curiosity because every time uh, a new exponential change or a new disruptive change in the world it's created, there's a lot of curiosity behind. It's not just the process of technical reasoning. It's at some point there's a question in the form of the what if.
Yeah.
You always have a expert in the area that take some time and say, hey, what if we change this? What if we are wrong? What if we are right? What if you name it? But
Well,
that's the curiosity. But
yeah.
I think if we wanna move faster, we need the tools. And we need tools that everybody can learn to use, and even better that some people could become experts handling the tools to help other people to be more curious. That's my take on that.
Spreading the knowledge. Yeah. Refining the tools and then spreading, sharing the knowledge for sure. Nice.
And when you think in terms, for example, of the classroom, because now it's like the entire world is a classroom,
Yeah.
It's not anymore that if we want to go to a classroom, we need to go to the school, or we need to go to the university.
Yeah.
It's not that thing anymore. The entire world is a classroom. So the thing is now we need tools that we can use everywhere, not just
Well,
at the classroom.
where you have YouTube, you have a classroom, right? Or you can get a book on your phone as well. So yeah, you're right. Both in every way you can conceive of a classroom, it's available to you almost anywhere. But what are yeah, you're exactly right. What are the tools you're using to get the most out of that classroom? Yeah.
Yeah. For example, I'm running actually a first version of our experiment with my classes.
Okay.
We are using AI to solve problems that might arise in 2030. So for some students, it's like, what professor are you saying? Yeah, we need to create some tools to create problems for humanity that will rise in 2030. That's the challenge. Of course, when they go to the tools like the ChatGPT, there's no answer to that. And I say to my students, that's the next thing in thinking. Because it's not about the past. It's not about just correlating things that already exist. It's creating the stuff that actually there's not present yet. That's my approach. It's like doing some first version of the research around tools. But this is something that I think if we are able to create a community where we start to ask these type of questions, actually remove the friction from the education that actually is all the time trying to solve the same problem with the same tools. For some crazy reason, we are thinking that we are getting different effects. That's not true. It's very important, but we need to think, not just think different. I think we need to think on a broader spectrum.
Yeah. No, yeah. I don't, this knowledge garden is something that would be one of the largest parts. I mean, to be successful, it would have to be as large as possible, because again, it really serves as a connector, as a facilitator, if you will. and the more parts it can facilitate, kind of like the internet, right? The more connections it can make, the more powerful or more valuable it can become.
Yeah, but I will have a question for you. For example, if
Yeah.
somebody is listening this conversation today, okay, I think that, and I believe that this is very important. How can I start? How can I get involved in the project?
Well, so the project, the Curiosity Project in general, contact us. Like we have, I'm curious to know what you think about it, how you think you can contribute, and what your your unique idea is for it. And even more specifically, with around the knowledge garden is anybody who works with existing R&D departments, whether it's in higher ed. We just spoke with someone. Or in the corporate world, or you're a startup, or you're an entrepreneur and you have some experience with this, or you have some interest in this. The first step is getting in touch. And I think we're already working on facilitating, you work at a university as well. So I think there's some things that we'll be doing just on very basic levels to start getting universities, professors and students alike interested and curious about curiosity, so that they can. I know I've got a paper published with your university on curiosity. We need more of those, not just more of those studies to be done, but then a better way to share them so that others can see and what can be done. So if we're not aware of existing studies on curiosity, please share those with us, with others. And if you want to see this project, the Curiosity Project, happen, and even more specifically, the Knowledge Garden happen, please contact us. And if you know somebody, again, at universities or working in R&D, I think there's a lot of ways that we can immediately do some exciting stuff together.
Okay, that is quite interesting. And for example, if you want to create your own chapter, like maybe your city or your university, just feel free to do it. And of course, get in touch so we can provide you with some
We have a bunch
initial
of studies we
tools.
can share with you as well. Like if you're like, I've never heard of this, I have a whole catalog of existing research and studies on and around curiosity. We'll be publishing more, sharing more, that we uncover. So you can also, if you're like, hey, I know nothing, that's fine as well. We got lots that we can share.
Okay, but I think that's an
Yeah.
invitation. So um, we'll be here, getting curious as many times as we can a week.
Yeah.
But the thing is here is to be able to share ideas, to share curiosity, to get curious with people, get curious about the future of things and the world, and to have this, this is like the support of the community that is in charge of the innovation and the research with I don't know, a
Yeah,
new
yeah.
approach.
Around curiosity, and this is where it could take root. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal. So Matt,
Yeah.
so thank you so much for this
Yeah.
conversation, and as usual, just stay curious.
Stay curious. All right. Thanks.